If I had to set up an offshore trolling spread today to target Mahi, Tuna, and Wahoo, these are the exact lures I'd put in the water. We've caught a ton of fish offshore on these lures over the years, and by the end of this video, you'll know which ones you actually need and when to fish them. This isn't about hype or trends. These are proven offshore trolling lures that flat out work. Let's get right into this video. Kicking things off at number 10 is the Nomad Design DTX Minnow. This is one of our go-to lures when we're specifically targeting Wahoo. It dives deep, it holds speed really well, and when fish are down, this lure really gets noticed. We usually run this on cable or wire and keep it way back in the spread. It's not something we troll every single trip, but when conditions are right and you're hunting Wahoo, this lure absolutely deserves a spot in the water. Coming in at number 9 are the No Alibi trolling feathers. These are simple, high action feathers that do a great job of getting bites when fish are keyed in on smaller baits. We've caught plenty of tuna and mahi running these behind the boat. These lures shine when you want something easy to deploy that just flat out gets bit. At number 8, we've got the C&H Rattle Jet in the Mylar color. This lure is a killer for tuna and mahi. It's perfect when you're trying to put steady fish in the box offshore. We usually troll this around 7 knots and run way back in the spread. If you're only running one deep line, this is a great option. And let us know in the comments below, what's your go-to trolling lure? At number 7 is the Yo-Zuri High Speed Vibe, and this lure is one of the easiest to fish on this list. I highly recommend it if you're a beginner. It dives about 5 to 10 feet deep and works really well for mahi, tuna, and even wahoo. We like trolling these around 7 to 9 miles per hour. If you're newer to offshore fishing and want something that swims true and catches fish without much effort, this is a great lure to start with. Coming in at number 6 is the Ilander Tracker Lure. This is a Florida staple. When you rig this lure with a ballyhoo, you never know what's going to show up behind the boat. We've caught mahi, tuna, wahoo, and even sailfish on this setup. It's one of those lures that always stays in the rotation offshore. At number 5, we've got the classic Cedar plug. These lures catch everything: mahi, tuna, wahoo, and even sailfish. We've been running these a lot lately, and they continue to produce for us. They're simple, proven, and still extremely effective. Every offshore spread should have at least one Cedar plug in it. Coming in at number 4 is the Barjack's Tuna Striker. This lure is designed to mimic a small school of squid, which makes it incredibly effective when tuna are feeding aggressively offshore. Each squid bait is rigged with its own hook, so on the right day, you can actually hook multiple fish at once. We run this lure a lot when targeting tuna, but it also gets bites from mahi, wahoo, and even sailfish. It's built heavy duty so you can troll it with confidence without worrying about gear failure. At number 3, we've got the Offshore Trolling Spoon. These lures crush kingfish, wahoo, and even tuna. The action on these spoons is hard for fish to ignore, even on the slow days. If you want a reliable lure that constantly triggers bites, this is a no-brainer. Coming in at number 2 is our Barjack's Mahi Super Chugger. This lure is built specifically to raise fish. It throws a ton of splash, noise, and bubbles, which makes it perfect when you're trolling weed lines, rips, or open blue water. The bright pink skirt is one of our most consistent colors for mahi and blackfin tuna, and the compact profile lets you run it at a wide range of trolling speeds without having any issues. We've caught mahi, tuna, and even a few wahoo on this lure, and it's one of those baits that does a great job of pulling fish up from deeper in the water column. If you're looking for a high action surface lure that you can confidently run in almost any offshore spread, this is one we trust and run every fishing trip. And finally, coming in at number 1 is the C&H Tuna Tango Feather. On the days you see us limit out on tuna and even mahi, there's almost always a lure like this in the spread. It's high action, it mimics small bait and squid, and tuna just can't resist it. This is one of those lures that earns its spot at number 1 because it consistently produces offshore year after year. This is the exact trolling lineup we rely on offshore when we're targeting Mahi, Tuna, and Wahoo. I'll link everything we use down below in the description. We hope you guys enjoyed this fishing video, and we'll see you in the next Barjack's Family fishing video.